So I haven't actually gone in for a haircut in maybe like a couple years because my brother usually takes care of it, but like right now I'm pretty far away, so I'm gonna go in for a haircut at an actual barbershop for like the first time in a really long time. Right now I push it down, but it's like maybe like 7 inches long on the top, and it's pretty unruly, especially like later on in the day when it gets dry and my hair just puffs up. So I'm gonna go in. Hopefully this ends up being a good experience. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the look. I don't know, it's a little shorter than what I'd like, but I don't know, maybe it's a nice change. And they're supposed to like clean up my beard and stuff, which they didn't do. And like the guy left a bunch of hair in my face, I had to wipe it off, and he forgot about it, and I was just sitting there also for a while. Even after we were done and he cleaned up and everything, there was still a bunch of like hair everywhere, so I think it was overpriced. It's almost like 30 bucks with like the tip and everything, so probably not gonna go there ever again. But it was a nice experience, I guess. Starting my day off right. Finishing off with the best of both worlds, protein shake in the U world. Okay, so I usually don't work weekends, but this week I'm working on the weekends so I can save some time during the week. I was able to shift my last day schedule because I need to move all my stuff up all the way back home. I'm thinking because the weekend it might be a little bit light. I guess babies don't come out on schedule, so we'll see how it goes.
A lot of routine things today will be well checks with ultrasound, gyne issues like irritation, dryness, itchiness, possible STDs, different screening tests like pap smears, and issues like contraceptives and figuring out what's best for the patient, general things like that.
You just know I'm gonna have protein bars every day. Also watching my boy Elliot Choi. Love his vlogs. So Sunday, hopefully trying to have some fun, but I need to get through some UL questions. I'm really slow at them and I need to try to put in some work. So I'm going to try something new today. Should be fun. I haven't really done any of these things in a while, so you guys will see what I'm talking about in a little bit. So just finished up at the bad axe throwing place. It was my first day throwing axes, and honestly it was pretty fun, stress relief, just doing something like physical and kind of aggressive, I guess. I got lucky. I was able to get a hold of throwing the axes and hitting the targets pretty well, so after a few throws I was pretty much hitting like the bullseye or close to the bullseye almost every time. And then what happened is something happened with my form, so I ended up missing for just like maybe like 50 throws after like I got a hold of it and I had a nice streak. And I think what happened was I was spinning too much, so there's like a form issue, and I was struggling with it for a while, maybe 50, maybe like 70 throws or something. And so like one of the pro guys who's like a league player suggested since I have so many rotations, like too many rotations, and the distance wasn't that great, so you can't have too many rotations, you need like a rotation and a half or like one rotation for like the throw. Well, different guys were suggesting different things, and one guy suggested just doing it like full force, since most people don't throw the axes full force. So I ended up trying a full force or a high power throw, and it stuck again. So after that, just trying out high power throws kind of made up for bad form. So I was able to get 1 or 1.5 rotations in and stick my axes. So I guess my temporary band-aid solution for bad form right now is, especially since it's my first day, is just going to be, from now on if I do it again, to just use more power. And with that distance, the power works out. I was able to get the bullseyes or like close to that, I don't know the point system, pretty much consistently ever since then. So I don't know, part of it I got lucky. I guess I'm decently good at it just like out the bat, but definitely have to remember a few form cues that some of like the pros or the league players told me about, and go in with high power. But yeah, that's a fun little activity. Haven't done it before, and I think I'll probably come back again sometime. So that was good. So I had I think what's called a flight in this ice cream place called Ampersand. It's a nice modern vibe ice cream shop. Really good ice cream. It was nice and creamy and really smooth. A lot of nice original flavors, like it's like Java espresso, nut chocolate chip thing. Ducks blocking the road, man.
From there, pretty much just did some Anki. I wasn't able to get through as many cards as I wanted, but I used the Wiwa deck on the medical school subreddit. Okay, so it's the last week of this OBGYN rotation. I don't know, mixed feelings about it. I am interested in checking out the other specialties too, but there are some cool things in this specialty, like surgeries and different things that I really liked. And delivering babies was kind of cool too, so I don't know if I'll end up doing some OB later on. Like maybe if I do like family medicine, there'll be like an OB component of it, and you can do like a fellowship as well in family if you want to do more OB, and I think even C-sections in some places, depending on like your geography, like if you're in a more rural area or less staffed area. But I don't know, that's like way in the future, so we'll think about that later on. Right now, going into clinic, I have 2 days of clinic this week and 1 day of the birthing center / OR. So hope it's a good week, finish off strong. And I need to study a lot more since I have tons of UWorld questions and flashcards. I'll try to like fit that in throughout the day if I can, if it's kind of like a boring day. And if not, when I come home I need to like really get on that because I've been slacking. STDs are a very common case that you see in OB/GYN clinic or STD testing. Here you see some histo slides. On the left you see clue cells, so epithelial cells with a bunch of bacteria on them. On the right you see normal ones that are all cleared up, so they don't have that STD. On this slide you see some motile trichomonads, so like these are triangular shaped bacteria. They're more representative of Trichomonas vaginalis, which is another type of infection. And here you see the spores on the Candida albicans, which is another common infection as well. The buzzword for Candida is cottage cheese discharge, so there you go. One of the interesting things about medicine is you often get a chance to get a sense on a deeper level of patients' lives and people's lives in general. And one thing that does come up in OB/GYN clinic and in a lot of primary care clinics is that you do end up finding things like about cheating with girlfriends or boyfriends or husbands or wives even. And I did have a couple of cases of this during my rotation, which is interesting because there's like a real life reality show. So a couple of weeks ago I did a 525 pound deadlift PR attempt and lift at about 171 pound body weight, no belt, just straps because I don't like it being uneven unless I'm actually competing, but here it is. So yeah, super happy with the 525 at 171. Didn't really have back pains really or anything afterwards, so it was a good set. And I probably won't be hitting any more PRs, at least for in terms of just like raw weight this year, since I'm going to be cutting weight, as you'll find out later on in my other vlogs. But happy with 2019 progress, especially considering my injury history.
Guys, one of the most frustrating things about an Airbnb, or like a shared living space I guess, is that you never know what kind of roommates you get or what kind of housemates you get. So I keep getting stuff from my fridge stolen, especially things that I've been looking forward to, like these nice organic blueberries that I had stored up for this week, but or like my Jello or things like that. So it's frustrating, but I'm only going to be here for a couple days, so I guess whoever's taking it only has like a couple more days to enjoy those things. So another day, last day in the birthing center / L&D room / GYN surgery rooms. So I'd really like to get a C-section today and see some other surgeries. I think there's like 5 or 6 surgeries upstairs in the main OR with like hysterectomies and things like that. So I'll probably get a lot of those. Like I said, I really want a last C-section because those are fun. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So I did end up going into a lot of different surgeries. A lot of these were laparoscopic surgeries where they'd make a couple incisions into the abdomen and then put in some ports, and through these ports they'd put in scopes or different tools to do things like excise or cut out cysts or remove ovaries, fallopian tubes, make incisions around the uterus for hysterectomy, which would actually come out through the bottom, to ablate or burn off different endometriosis or different things like these. And we had a couple of these surgeries for different reasons. After that though, I ended up staying in late and I was able to go in for a C-section, which I was really looking forward to the whole time. I really like C-sections because they seem to be like the best of all aspects of surgery. You're able to have an open surgery where you're really in there, you're able able to go in and out really quickly. You're able to see a lot, and it just seems like a rewarding surgery in general. Luckily, we didn't have any complications or anything, so that made it even better. And the head surgeon and the assistant surgeon, they let me do a lot more since it was my last day, which is really fun. So I got to help a lot with the opening process, like ripping open the abdomen, and also with like suturing up the different layers like the fascia and even the superficial skin layers to close the patient after we're done, and that was all really great. Traditionally with C-sections, they do a more of a vertical incision, but over the last, I don't know how long, maybe a few decades, almost all surgeries or C-sections nowadays are done with a low transverse incision, which reduces the risk of bleeding and like rupture later on. Uterine ruptures are horrible things that you'd never want to happen to a patient, and so they do a low transverse C-section. And another benefit of this C-section, it's also called a bikini cut, because the incision is able to be hidden in the bikini or the pant line, and so a lot of the women appreciate this just for aesthetic reasons as well, so it works out both ways. What was really sweet about this surgery was that at the end of it, the head surgeon reached over the table and shook my hand and congratulated me on doing well for this rotation, and she said to come back again if I ended up doing OBGYN, so that was really sweet and a nice experience to cap off the whole rotation. I thought it was great, and definitely look forward to doing more OBGYN, especially C-sections, in the future and family medicine residency. So it's actually almost 10 right now. I ended up getting out later from the hospital than I thought I would, just because we had so many operations and then the emergency C-section. There's actually one that was actually going on like an hour after I left, but the attending said I should just go home and study, since we have our shelf exams on Friday, and I pretty much saw like everything there was to see that day. Got out, finished lifting, went through some UWorld questions, and now it's time to eat and then try to go to bed early so I can wake up early and get in a better cycle, since I've been sleeping not very well, and I can tell it's been affecting my focus and my learning even. So yeah, time to get to it. So it's the final day of OBGYN rotations. Again, mixed feelings, kind of bittersweet, but today's going to be in clinic only. Hopefully it's a good one with a lot of cool cases, and I need to really study a lot, since I actually didn't end up studying that much last night or this morning since I was sleepy and lazy. I don't think I'll be able to finish all the UWorld questions by Friday, but I'm going to try to do that. Sandy's last day today, decided to wear some color, but I'm heading out because I'm slightly, well, I'm not like late, but I'm on the verge of being slightly late, if that makes sense. If you're on time, you're kind of late, and then if you're late, then you're really late. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Last day today, let's make it a good one. It's a lot of the usual things in clinic this week, like confirming pregnancy or doing well-child visits later on in pregnancy, a lot of contraceptive talks and prescribing contraceptives. Got to see a Nexplanon insertion, which is inserted into the inner upper arm around the tricep area, and even some IUD insertions where you'd have the IUD device, you have an applicator that you use it to insert into the uterus using a scary looking tenaculum thing that clamps into the cervix to raise it up, and then the IUD is inserted in, you hit the little notch on the applicator to release the IUD, and then you clip off the strings and the patient's good to go. So overall, pretty normal clinic day. I said bye to everyone and headed off home to go for a little walk. So one thing I've been neglecting that I really need to be more on top of is like skin protection. So I ended up getting this SPF 50 on at Walmart. It was like the cheapest one I could find, and I'm gonna be using this, even though I hate it because it ends up being all like oily and pasty and stuff with my brown skin. But I'm gonna use this. Try not to get charred, and I don't really get sunburned that much, but like my skin turns like 20 shades darker, and I'm sure it probably increases my risk of different cancers and stuff like that. I have a good amount of like moles and stuff too, so I'm not trying to get those to turn like cancerous or get more moles or whatever it is. Darker skinned people can get, you know, sunburn and stuff, even though it's like less recognizable, so that's an important thing too. Okay, I don't know if this is enough. I'm not a dermatologist, or probably not pre-derm, since I find other things a lot more exciting. But we got my protein bar in the corner like a bro. Let's see. I'm gonna go explore this like garden that's close by, and then after that, hopefully I'll hit the gym and try to get a few UWorld questions done. Anyways, time to head off. Hope you guys enjoy the garden.
Guys, your friends may leave you, your significant other might let you down, but the one thing you can trust in life and that always has your back, Taco Bell. The other restaurants I tried to go to were all closed, or they were supposed to be open, but they were closed, and like the owners just told me like they were cleaning up and they were actually closed. So I just thought, okay, I'll just go to Taco Bell, and I got a bunch of stuff. Gonna feast on this and some stuff I have at home, like mix everything together, and should be good. Just relax for a little bit and then try to get back to studying, since as always I'm behind the day or 2 days before my test. First up on the menu is the meatless veggie bowl or power bowl. Honestly, it looks kind of sad. There's like a spot where I guess the meat is supposed to be, but they didn't add it in. Dude, the 7 layers over here are just like so small. I think I got 3 or 4 of them and they're just like pretty small. Luckily I have my own chicken and some other stuff as well, but kind of disappointed in Taco Bell.
And then some Diet 7-Up and U-Roll to finish off the night.
So it's finally here, the last day. Yeah, let me show you my room situation. Honestly, it's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I know it's a huge mess, but I'm just gonna clean this up real quick because I need to check out pretty soon, like in an hour, hour and a half.
Dr. Dustin Williams to keep me company as usual.
I got my own blackout curtains. Highly recommend if you're sleeping at weird times, or it's like too bright when you're sleeping. I'm gonna pack this up for sure. It's 11:51. I should be able to get out by 12. And I'm gonna lather up with sunscreen. I got my shades ready, and then just going to do a final run through to make sure I didn't forget anything. I almost forgot my my like personal care, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that stuff, hygiene products again. So 3 hours later, I'm finally home. It's crazy how in just like a month and a half, there's like new construction in different parts of the city already that I passed by. The trip wasn't too bad. I kind of zoned out during the trip and I had the help of Dr. Williams to keep me company, and the next day was also productive in a way since I was listening to his lectures while I was driving, so knocked out a bunch of those. Also, crazy thing that happened just now was this car, it was a green light for me on the straight and some car just like shot out of the side. I don't know if he like thought some other green light was for him, but he shot out of a side road and like drove into my lane, which is like a single lane road, so it was kind of like a T type of deal. And yeah, I'm guessing he just like didn't see the right signal light or something, but luckily I was able to see him and I slowed down and like veered to the side, or else we would have like crashed into each other, and he was going really fast too.
So I basically got home, unpacked, and then started studying, mostly UWorld, a little bit of Anki, also online med-ed, and then stress ate and studied in between my breaks of watching YouTube and just like trying to relax the rest of the day and the next day as well before my shelf exam. So I'll just summarize this part for you guys. Basically, the shelf exam was really hard in my opinion, and I think a lot of people thought it was hard too. Looking back, I'd probably try to focus a little bit more on UWorld rather than Anki. The Anki Weibo deck was helpful, but not as helpful as actually going through the questions in UWorld. So I would have gone through all of them. I didn't end up finishing the question bank, but I would have liked to have finished it and then gone through maybe like a second pass, going over especially my missed questions, my marked questions, and I think learning through those would have been a lot more helpful. But regardless, overall, passed the test, so I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'm going out to dinner. I think it's like sushi place. I haven't actually eaten real sushi, but I think we're gonna eat like cooked sushi. Standard outfit, you know, button down. These pants that are probably looking too tight because I've been gaining weight. And my Sperry's in, I forget, Amaretto I think it's called. I did have a case report to write up. I decided to do mine on one patient who was around 25. I had to change up some of the details, of course, who had previously had a premature baby due to cervical insufficiency. She had another pregnancy, but unfortunately she didn't really want to keep it, so she hadn't taken her progesterone, she hadn't gone to like high-risk pregnancy counseling or education. She had scheduled therapeutic abortions, I think twice or so, and had canceled it and postponed it, so she wasn't sure if she wanted to have the baby or not. And unfortunately, due to the lack of care, perhaps other risk factors as well, she ended up having an emergency C-section, and the baby did not survive, unfortunately. So I thought it was an interesting case, kind of sad, but decided to write it up for my final case report. And that pretty much capped off my OBGYN experience.